You know our next guest from his memorable roles in The Goonies, The Sopranos, and The Fugitive. Well, now you can see him as the leading man in the new film, From the Vine. Please welcome Joe Pantoliano. Did I get that last name right, Mr. Pantoliano?
I am here for the fashion, Mr. Joe.
Well, thank you. I only dress from the waist up.
I love it. That's like us every day.
Okay, careful. We may get you to stand up later on just to see if you really are telling the truth. All right, well, Mr. Joe, you had a scary incident take place in May. While out on a walk, you were hit by a car. How are you doing now?
I was hit by an SUV.
Wow.
I'm mending. I have a hearing aid because I broke a bone in my ear, and I had 10 stitches on the top of my head and knee injury backs. But, you know, it was traumatic, and it was traumatic for my family because they were all there when it happened. And what happened was a car got hit by another car, and then that car was slammed into me.
No. Oh, my God. Wow. Well, we're so happy that you're okay. We're so happy that you're okay.
Thanks.
I said to you in the top when we saw you that you looked very dapper, and you know you're wearing a hat as you always do. How many do you have in your collection at this point, Joe?
Oh God, I don't know, 300. I collect. I've always loved hats, and being bald, it's good that I look good in them. You know, I think so. It's very difficult for a man to accessorize. Yeah. So you know you're really limited. And a hat can just really set off like this matches my white earbuds. So I'm very conscious of that stuff.
We love it. Joe, can I just tell you how excited I am about you? You're just a legend when it comes to so many great movies that I grew up on. And I really appreciate you and thank you for coming on the show. Fans were super excited this past April when you reunited virtually with the entire cast of The Goonies. What was it like seeing everybody again?
It was incredibly. It was stunning, and to hear everybody, and you know, Spielberg had given up some secrets as to where he got the inspiration when he went to Chris Columbus, and seeing Dick Donner, who's now 90 years old and still kicking.
Wow.
But what was most interesting is afterwards, we all had each other's emails. And so we've been continuing to correspond with each other over birthdays. And it's been wonderful because, you know, when you make a movie, you're really close for a finite time. And the one thing that I don't like about my job is having to say goodbye. It's why I always dislike going to wrap parties because it's hard to say goodbye to people. And so now we're talking to each other all the time.
I love that. I'm a huge fan of The Goonies, so I'm even more excited now that we get to see you again as a leading man in your new movie, From the Vine. You actually said you were surprised to be casted in this movie. Why?
Well, my agent sent me the script. He said, look at the role of Marco. And I, you know, 5 pages in, I called him up. I said, you gave me the wrong character. This guy's on every page. He goes, no, they want you for the lead. And I was like,
that's awesome.
But he's such a sweet guy. That's wonderful. Why? I mean, how many people turned this thing down before they came to me? And it's shot in Italy. So I was talking to the producer and the director, and I was teasing them about it. But it was wonderful to be in this area, on this mountaintop, making this movie only because technology has made it available to us. We couldn't have made this movie 3 years earlier.
You mentioned the film being shot in Italy. I heard that you guys actually got sick, the entire cast, while shooting. What happened?
Everybody. Well, because where we were, when a cloud came in, we were living in the cloud. And that moisture has a lot to do with it. So everybody got bronchitis. And I was taken to a doctor. It's socialized medicine. So doctor comes in, they're on 24-hour shifts, an older guy, cigarettes dangling from his mouth. And he says, what's the matter? And my translator said, well, he's sick, and put the microphone to my chest, and he said, bronchitis. So he's, what's his name? And she says, no, he's American. He doesn't have socialized insurance. He goes, okay, what's your name? And she told him, he says, okay, you have bronchitis.
love it.
And so then
Oh,
they said that
wow.
we had to go to the
Yes.
pharmacy to get the
So
medicine and then bring it back to him. Syringes for 5 days, all of this medicine. And for the next 5 days, twice a day, I had to go there to get a shot of this antibiotic in my buttock. And so if you look at the movie closely, you can see me limping to the left and then limping to the right, depending on where the needle went.
No.
It was something.
Wow.
Joe, you're such a great
great.
storyteller. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at you from The Vine.
You flew all the way here and you don't know why? That's how you wind up on a watch list, sir. I have to tick a box. Where are you staying?
At Cerenza, my grandfather's.
And what are you doing there?
Visiting?
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. You are going to visit your grandfather.
No, he's dead.
And you're just showing up now? I'll put pleasure. You work it out on your own. Benvenuto in Italia.
Arrivederci.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us today and chatting with us. You guys have to see his film, From the Vine. It's available on video on demand and all digital platforms starting October the 9th. We had the virtual premiere this week. It's a very sweet film.